It feels like G1 versus Liquid, Quadrant, and German Amigos here, Stumpy. Everything on the line. Can G1 get the win and secure themselves a major spot? Or do they have a date with a couple of other teams later on today? Well, we're about to find out, ladies and gents.
I mean, the three-way tiebreaker is going to be phenomenally exciting. We get to see a little bracket get played out. Quadrant will be there waiting. And as Shogun was saying, if you're a Quadrant or a German Amigos fan, you are now a Team Liquid fan as well. G1, though, they've got a lot of organizational pressure behind them, and they have got a huge amount of pressure on themselves too. Whether they can deal with that is another question entirely. But CJ, yesterday versus Vitality, they looked really brilliant. They beat them 4-1.
Fantastic display, and you look at German Amigos, who could be waiting in the wings later. They got swept by Vitality, so G1, they've got the form lines, but they get a chance right now to get rid of these tiebreakers, forget about it, knock out Quadrant and German Amigos and secure themselves a major spot. So I feel like it's almost a free hit this series against Liquid, but gee, you want to win it early.
And we said about G1 enough now. Liquid versus Quadrant, that was the biggest challenge for them. That was an absolute coin flip as far as we were concerned on the desk, whether who was going to win that. Quadrant looked great for a while, but Chronic, he led the charge yesterday. He was mine and Cole's favourite child on Friday, and he opens up the scoring in our first series.
I'd love to know the stats of Team Liquid scoring in the first minute, because this regional has been ridiculous. These guys always come out swinging, come out firing, and they've done it here again. Team Liquid, well, there's not much pressure on these guys, is there, Stumpy? They're playing for, I guess, number 2 seed at the major. They want to finish higher than Oxygen on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah, they're playing for prize money as well, which is all important. There's still a lot for these guys to play for, because every space that you can make up, you are going to be finding yourselves a slightly theoretically easier matchup. And if you can do that, that's even more money at the major, even more points. Huge ramifications for a series that otherwise you look at and think, oh, it seems not pointless for them, but a lot less pressure. However, Dorito showing he is suffering from the pressure a smidge there as he does manage to make that first touch. Going high on this double tap, Atto, not able to get anything from it, and so the pressure falls back down towards G1. Staying quite long there from Atomic, isn't able to get that chance going too convincingly.
Yeah, Liquid, they have a little bit to play for. Atto might be able to get the fake over the top. Does go wide. But Liquid, you compare what both teams are playing for here. You just have to feel like G1 will be feeling the pressure that Mark by 8 sneaks one home, and maybe they're not.
There's a slow down from a Chronic and then a complete whiff, leaving Mark open to shoot that one back behind Atto, who last night tweeted saying that they wanted to force the three-way tiebreaker. They want to make that European history, so they are fighting for it a huge amount as well, but they are not immune to that pressure. As somebody who is an avid Liquid fan and somebody who has watched them at their depth as well as at their peaks, they have got some real clatterers in them, and Oski just forces his way through and scrums that ball in the orange net.
This just sums up Oski in real life, an absolute child mountain. And he just staunched that defense into the net. The big boy, 6'5", all of him. He's probably not 6'5", but gee, he looks
a bit like that. He's like 6'4".
He is dead set enormous, and he looked enormous with that challenge there. Great play, getting one back off. A little bit of a misplay earlier from Chronic, where it just looked like his thumbs weren't quite warmed up. Here's a counter-attack. Mark by 8 goes for the shot, and Oski saves it out again. He's a bit of a brick wall in offense and defense.
Oski on Friday was looking like the best defensive player. He had a couple of his own errors going through offensively, but we're seeing the G1 offense start to really put that pressure on. Seeing a lot of sustained shots towards that net. Atto slowing down, not getting the best touch, really weak actually out towards the center, and Atomic is in a great position to score against a Chronic.
Yeah, some sustained shots, but almost it feels like it's down the other end, and it's not too long. There's sort of one opportunity and bang, a goal down the other way. So interesting plays so far. It's certainly not the cleanest of game ones here, but this is what pressure can do. Semi-finals, everything on the line for both teams, particularly at G1, as we mentioned. And well, they started out pretty strong here. I said it before, Team Liquid, they always start strong in these games. So if you're in it with them early, you're a red-hot chance in this series.
Atto's trying to go for a highlight play. We're not going to be seeing any highlights tomorrow because, we get back to Monday. This is the final day. They're trying to go flat, stealing the demo coming in. The completely open net, the double demo, in fact. This time, Mark removing Atto with each other. Completely opens up that backside. 3 goals for Liquid now. 2 coming in the form of large Oscar.
And 2 minutes left as well. So much time here. 5 goals so far this game, number 1. And we spoke about it yesterday, Snuffy. You just don't want that Team Liquid. I think it was Friday. Team Liquid on a counter-attack at any opportunity. They just feel so dangerous. No matter how much offensive pressure you feel like you might have, this team's too fast out of defense. They're always going to transition as quickly as possible. And we saw that there with the bump.
Really open opportunity here for Liquid. As Oski passed that back down central, that would have been a nasty pass in the middle. Instead, it bounces back out for a counter-attack. Atomic goes high. Chronic clearing from that back, but with Mark by 8 hitting to the corner where Atto has read him perfectly. The second touch then gets out of reach of both Oski and Atto. Chronic's able to get one shot away, but the defense now holding strong yet again. A double commit in the corner. I saw a couple of them on offense earlier. G1, yes, you need to throw everything at this, but you still have a minute and a half. The reset secured by Atto, a relatively open net, and now 1v1. A Chronic versus Dorito. Who comes out on top? Dorito on this chance.
Oh, Liquid are building this pressure, though, building this offense. Atto up the ceiling. He's got to get the bounce shot saved out. That would have been in for all money. Team Liquid still attacking, still aggressing. Atomic very awkward. They're low boost here, G1. They're trying to just stave off this offense, and they've done pretty well here. But Oski grabs that boost as well. Atto, Team Liquid, they're straight back on the attack. Mark by 8 parries it to the side, still in the orange half. And still no opportunity here unless Atomic can do something. Is bumped off the potential double touch. G1 pushing forward. Atto can't get the touch. Atomic. Goes one. Follow up. Dorito can't get there either.
God, Atto was centimetres away from punting that into his own net. Managed to break just about in time. Final 30 seconds now, starting to tick down. Mark by 8, getting the ball central. Dorito thought Atto would miss that one, but incredibly easy for him to clear it away. Again, Atto defensively, but whipping it this time. Oski keeping that control of the ball incredibly close, maybe too close. The net is finding itself under more and more pressure, but Chronic dribbling out. Challenges versus Atomic on that side wall. Still nothing can come until a completely missed flick. Atto takes full advantage. Game win for Liquid.
Yeah, they just tried to bite off a little more than they could chew there. Not the best touch from Atomic, trying to dribble that one out. Dunked by Atto. Solid start from Team Liquid. 9 seconds left, and we can cast the curse this all we want. This is game over every day of the week. Team Liquid, a strong start here. Chronic going for some style points, blocked out by Dorito. Ball will hit the ground. G1 have got a little bit of work to do here because this Team Liquid lineup have come out swinging.
I mean, Liquid as well, when they start off competitions, they don't typically, and I'm saying this in RLCS despite the fact they have topped their group every single regional they've played in this split, but they always look shaky towards the start of a day. And they normally grow into it. They need that engine to really start whirring. When they start strong and they start on during a day, that is when we find them at their most terrifying. They've already amped up, whether they were scrimming particularly effectively earlier or their free play just happened to really stick today. Liquid taking that first game 4-2 versus G1 is a bit of an omen for them.
Ooh, an omen. No, look, it is a little bit concerning. It always is going to be when you've got a Team Liquid. When their mechanics are on, they're going to be dangerous. But as we did say in the pre-show, G1, they've got a little bit of flair of their own. They were still in that game, scored 2 goals, a strong start, but just gave too many up. You can't be conceding 4 goals in a game. You're never going to be winning those ones. But let's see what happens here. Game number 2. I love this map. Very beautiful, isn't it?
Always beautiful. Reddit's going to love us for that one. I like the fact that we saw errors coming out from both teams too. They've both got room to grow into. The Cherry Blossom still has a lot of places where it can root, hit bigger branches, and we can see a higher gameplay going forward too. And Atto pinching that back towards his own net. Dorito takes full advantage. The double can't come in. Mar by 8 shooting wide. Can wrap his car around that ball with 0 boost. Atto has to drop the ball off towards Oski.
Should have been a goal there for G1. Couldn't quite get the touches, but we'll see if that comes back to bite them. Here goes a Chronic, passes it off to Atto. Can't quite get the touch. Dorito now, not much boost in midfield and doesn't get the boost either. He's just chasing demos now, but he's got 0. Atto stealing it off him. Pushing downfield on the counter-attack. Getting a little bit of midfield game here. What can a Chronic do with the ball? Off the ceiling. Got to get one more. 2 in net. Should be able to put that one to the side. But the double commit's a little bit costly. G1. And they're looking a little bit rough in defense here.
I feel like that's slowing down their counterattacks as well because they're double committing relatively often, and so then they don't feel confident enough to then push on the ball from a missed shot or a save from either of the two that went for it. It's slowing them down on the offense just by sending 2 men to a relatively basic save. They need to try and tighten that up quite a lot more. And
they're looking set up now, Liquid. They're just building that offense as well. So G1, they're going to have to find a new way in here. They're not quite getting the boost control, the touches they need downfield. Losing that midfield game is huge right now. And Oski just controlling it, as we said, in the midfield, pushing it down. Mark by 8, that's a terrible touch. Going to leave Atomic last man. Does pretty well with the touch. Mark by 8 is going to take that to the corner. G1, well, it's still 0-0, but it's not looking too comfortable for the Oranges there.
They're completely penned back into their own half. We've seen very little offense from G1 so far. They've had a single shot, but also so have Liquid in fairness. So I'm not too sure what they've been doing with this huge amount of time. We've seen the ball hanging out in the orange hole.
Just flirting around with the ball, but Chronic's going to be able to nearly dribble that one in. Atomic does get a great save. Mark by 8 is just in no man's land in the corner. All of G1 look completely out of place, but the rotations, they're finding a way through. They're just finding a way to make it work. It's not pretty, but we're still dead even here.
A pinch going out wide. It's going to be fortuitous for Dorito on this opportunity. Only 10 boosters, so we can't really follow up on that until it pinches towards the ceiling. Dorito, no bump on Oski, and so it falls down to a shot coming in from Atomic. Atto can save it away again now. Pressure building for G1, giving Liquid a taste of their own medicine. Oski to send it high. No one can challenge till Mark by 8 takes that initiative. A Chronic Orca on the back wall. Again, Mark by 8, he scored from there before. For the second time, not going to be quite as good until Dorito. And error punished by G1.
Gee whiz, how's the shot? Top corner off the post there. Dorito puts that one away. That's the placement you want. That's when you know the mech's on. And G1 get the first goal of the game off of just that little moment of offense, that bit of pressure. 30 seconds in is all they needed there after Liquid felt like they had this game with a stranglehold, but not to be.
I mean, that is a huge defensive error from Atto. The fact that he misses that on that fly back, any contact is going to stop that goal from coming in, or at least the shot from coming in. So, yeah, shame for him. We saw him also mess up earlier on, so hoping that he's going to be able to rectify them going through the series. But a pass from Mark towards Dorito. The double commits now not plaguing G1 quite as much. They can get these offenses continuing. A flick high, but only 10 boost. The ball is going to have to be left. A Chronic pinching central, but Atomic can pick up 30 boost. The flick attempt just off the post. The idea was good.
Oh, I thought that was in for all money there. Great touch from Atomic, but couldn't quite get the flick. They've still got the lead here, and Liquid are looking a little bit in trouble in defense now. We've seen a couple of whiffs on the backboard. He's getting it clear, but it's to no one here. Dorito's ready, and we're seeing the midfield game switch up now. Look at just the pressure right now. G1 forcing the issue, forcing that boost, having all that control. Chronic gets a little bit of space to work with, has to keep this one in, but there you see it again. G1, Dorito smashes it straight down the other end.
Interestingly as well, as we get into the final minute, G1 are currently 10-0 this event when they score first. They don't lose when they score first. So this is looking fantastic for them. And it was about half time that they scored too. So they've held off for 90 seconds. 50 now remaining. Can they continue that streak to 11-0? A Chronic, though, taking it up high onto the backboard. The bump comes in. Chance for Oski to shoot, but Oski goes straight into the path of Dorito.
Great chance for Liquid there. They couldn't quite get the goal, however. G1, as you said, they just get a goal and they just keep hanging on to these. What could a Chronic do? Gets a pass down to Oski, can't quite get the touch. Dorito dribbles it out the roll there. Mark by 8 now. Last man could be an opportunity. He's got to go to the bump instead. But there is no one for Liquid with the follow-up.
No one for Liquid for the follow-up. And G1 just read that completely. They're like, oh, we'll have that ball then, I suppose. No problem. We can just dribble it down. But Liquid continue that pressure. The final 10 seconds. 0 is for a Chronic. The ball then goes high. Atto to receive. Dorito shoots on target. Very weak, however. Oski now, as we approach 0 seconds, has to keep this one up. The brilliant boost steal from Mark by 8. Completely forces Oski's hand. Ball to ground. Forbidden Temple falls for G1, and we are 1-1 in the series.
This is really it. It feels... This happens a lot, doesn't it? You're Team Liquid G1. You feel like they're so mechanical. It's just going to be fast-paced, everything on. Atomi's going to be flying in left, right, and center. And you almost get the opposite. We're getting this strategic affair, one goal and hold it from G1. Team Liquid almost overthinking their attacks when they're going forward now. And you just see again, it was almost the opposite of what these play styles, what we usually see. Team Liquid sort of backing off, not showing that pace that we usually see, and it did cost them there. It is interesting, the mental side of things and how these matchups can change their play style.
I think G1 also are going to have to win this series relatively quickly. It has to be a 4-1 or a 4-2 because the 4-2 at a push as well. I feel like when it gets later in the series, Liquid, as that engine warms up and they do get the cogs moving, they will become too much for G1 to handle. However, they are doing a wonderful job so far of keeping Liquid not even penned back at all, but just being able to create some devastating counterattacks as and when they come. Marked by 8 there, removing Atto from the pitch. The fake flick attempt from Dorito. Nothing to come from it apart from this ongoing pressure. Nearly the dunk, but Atto can clear it away from Marked by 8. Shot going central. Nobody there to receive the cross-come shot.
Yeah, it just feels like G1 are the ones that are controlling the pace right now. They're forcing the issue, and Liquid don't really know what to do. They're getting caught out a few times with those last-man demos. We saw Marked by 8 pushing downfield and catching them off guard. Here we go again. There's another offense here. Atomic just getting blocked out, but all the boost right now with G1. Having said that, they leave the corner boost straight for Atto. He's going to scoop that one up every day of the week. Now G1's turn. A little bit of defense to push it now. Atto, he's got a bit of boost off the ceiling. He's got a reset, fakes it underneath. G1 ready, and on the counter-attack, Oski all of a sudden last man out of nowhere. Sort of sums up Team Liquid right now. They're on attack, but as soon as it goes the other way, they're lacking numbers.
That was a really disappointing flick from Dorito too. He ran out of boost, didn't try and go for the 50, just hit it somewhere towards the net, but nothing came from it. Oski in mid-air though, just sucker punches that ball home.
Look at the pass downfield. Oski sitting central and gets the redirect. Marked by 8. Can't do anything about that one. That's the Team Liquid that we know and love, putting that one away and taking the lead.
To remind everybody about the tiebreaker scenarios today as well. If G1 win this series, they will be going through to the Winter Major. If they don't, then our 3-way tiebreaker takes place where G1 play against German Amigos, and then whoever wins that goes through the quadrant to decide who takes that final spot. And the bumps flying through for Team Liquid are crushing the hopes of G1 to make it easy.
Huge. Look at Atto down here, just going to work on Marked by 8. Dorito wasn't ready to cover it either. Team Liquid get their second goal. A little bit of magic there from the offense.
I like going for the redirect fake almost and then turning it into the bump. Almost looks like an air dual bump setup where you get it towards the goal and then you turn and then shoot it. So I'd rather you turn and then bump that final player. Marked by 8 being bumped in the midfield, so that attack can't continue. 2 minutes gone and 2 goals scored until another error. Oski missing that 1-0 boost from Mark. He has to retreat, but the open net, Atomic is there to swipe it.
Just the speed from Atomic there was huge. Marked by 8 pushes it off the corner. Atto flips for no reason, and Chronic just not ready at all for the shot on net. He was so late to jump to try and get a hand on it, and G1 do get one back out of nowhere. All of a sudden it's game on again. This has been the story of G1 so far. It feels like Liquid getting control. They're going to run away with it, but then G1, they just stick around. They find a goal out of nothing, and now Dorito off the ceiling with a reset, but Oski's there to save it away.
Oski missing that second touch, so Marked by 8 is able to receive it in the midfield. Atomic now 70 boost. Sees that goal open. Dorito can't shoot. That would have been the equalizer.
Oh no, that was a perfect opportunity. G1 could have brought this back to 2-2 with half the game left, but just overthought that one. He was caught flat-footed and the boost couldn't do the work for him. G1, let's see how much that might cost them towards the end of this game, and maybe right now for Chronic gets the double touch. He's going to go wide. Oski with a follow-up pushes it forward as well, but G1, they're in defense for now, and they're going to be able to stave this one off.
Chronic easily the first man to that ball, gets the acutest angle possible. Oski to shoot high. Atto though is not the one to follow up on it. The long shot instead coming in. Marked by 8 wants him to go for the ball or the man. Either one to get that job done. Atto and a Chronic double committing. We've seen that a few times historically with Liquid. They're going to be hoping that that does not continue and become symptomatic of this series. The flip reset gained for Atto with Oski bumping off that backboard. Liquid now really turning the screw on that vice.
Now Marked by 8 does get the clear downfield. Atomic's not quite ready. There's going to be some more defense here for G1. They need to get it down the other end. They need to look for some scoring opportunities. Liquid don't want to give them that at all here. Still plenty of time on the clock. Oski's trying to get the go ahead. Can't quite get that one there. Atomic, a little bit awkward back post. G1 again, they just look so awkward in defense, but it almost helps them because Liquid have that false sense of security. They think they're in no man's land. They think they're in big trouble, but they find a way out. just like this, Atto a little bit crept. Double flip reset isn't going to help his team at all. And Oski's going to have to play cleanup crew.
That was a classic double flip reset just because I can. Like, he thought, I've got it.
Use it.
So I'm obviously going to use it. Like, I know you're there, Iconic, but I do fancy it, though. It's not going to help his team out. And so onto that backboard, Dorito sends the ball. We find ourselves under a minute left and 1 goal lacking for G1. Dorito optimistically hoping Atto's going to miss that. He's had a couple of shockers this series, so not the most brain-dead play by any means. Iconic challenging in that back left corner. Gets it past the halfway line, and now we see that defense spread by G1. Atomic going central with it. Oski backflipping, keeping control of that ball. The final 30 seconds begins to tick down.
They like defending here, G1, though. They want to let Team Liquid in, but not that much. Icronic's going to be able to walk that one in. Dorito demoed, no last man. Liquid regain 2-goal lead now. This could be game over right here.
That's a brutal final touch as well. Just falling onto the ball. The defender tips it past his final third man, and so Icronic is able to dribble that one home. And, I mean, you'd have to not be playing at this level to be missing ones like that. The final 20 seconds is going to be somewhat of just a parade as Liquid need to hold off from conceding 2. They won't be. In fact, Atto is going to be getting that 4th goal, separating the teams by 3. 2-1 in the series now. Liquid are being huge for any fans of Journey Amigos and Quadrum.
Insult to injury from Atto there. Looking like Johnny Boy against Oxygen in the pre-show. Sensational double touch. The mechanics on display. Team Liquid 3-goal lead.
It was good, that, wasn't it?
Beautiful play
that video.
Johnny's really good at Rocket League, I realised.
He had 6 points halfway through that series, that game we played versus Oxygen. And then he was saying, he had the audacity to say, I was forcing them so you could be save merchants. Like, Johnny, come on, man. I know you're delusional.
That's some copium if I've ever heard it. Anyway, look,
it was full copium mode.
They got to get the win, and we're going to see the timeout straight away. G1 not happy with that game. Going to take the timeout and reset. I love it, Stumpy. Lose the game, instant timeout. I love it.
Is it an approved CJ timeout?
Absolutely. 2-1 down. Do not want to lose the game 4. So call the timeout now. Equalize it up 2-2 and move on to game 5, I reckon. The timeout buff will work. I believe. Chat will believe as well.
At the moment? Something like that?
Look, I'm not the stats man here, but I'm sure D-Rex going to let us know what the timeout win rate is. I'm going to say 54%, but that 4% is everything. Call the timeout.
Take anything
2 games down.
Absolutely. Take any advantage that you can. Like, I remember D-Rex saying the other week that when teams take timeouts, in their next games, they score about 100% more goals. Like, you feel more confident when you come out of them too. Yeah, your win rate just goes up by 4%, but you get a lot more of those offensive opportunities, whether you feel more renewed, whether you feel like you've got those chances and you're thinking, look, if we don't throw everything into this game, then you're going to find yourself on that series point, which you don't want to be doing, especially against a strong team such as Liquid.
There you go, some exact numbers. 55.68% overall for EU with the timeouts. 52.83% this season, though, so not quite as effective, but still effective nonetheless. Call a timeout. You're more often than not going to win that next game. So huge call there. Love it. Love the call, and hopefully we get it. Well, I'm not cheering for anyone, but we should see the equaliser to make me sound smart. I like it.
You need that. You need a win, mate.
And Liquid the other day, they called the timeout. They were playing some games as well during the timeout. We're not quite seeing that now. They were
playing football, weren't they? They were on a kickabout in the office.
They were kicking it around. They seem a little bit more locked into this one. This is the semi-finals. This is Championship Sunday after all. And they do want to take that number 2 seed. And looking at the groups for the major as well, I mean, seeding is looking more important than ever. I know when Gibbs does the groups, he just likes to cause absolute chaos. So make sure you message him on Twitter if you're not happy with them.
Make sure if your favourite team hasn't got a nice matchup, you at Gibbs and DM him saying, I am upset with you, Gibbs, and give him a big old paragraph as to why.
Because he definitely is the sole person that does all of them, ladies and gentlemen.
And he reads and responds to every DM too, which is interesting.
Speaking of the response, G1 off the timeout buff. Mark by 8 gets the first goal, Stumpy. 5 seconds in. That's the timeout buff if I've ever seen it.
The timeout buff, that's the quickest goal this series so far. Not only do you have that 53-ish% win rate, you then also go forward and have 114% more goals scored, which is you over double the amount of goals you score on average. That one is not great though, because my next stat was going to be 43% drop in goals against. But Liquid, they come back just 8 seconds later. That is a horrible touch.
It is just steamrolled off his bonnet straight off the corner and basically went in. I mean, that's a little bit unlucky there for G1. I still believe in the timeout buff. I hope we've got some more believers in chat as well that are watching at home. I mean, G1 though, Liquid have been let off there. They conceded that kickoff goal and then found an absolute freebie. They'll take that every day of the week, and maybe a Chronic can take the touch over the top. Atomic is going to be able to get the clear. Dorito downfield. Gets beaten out. But Oski's hitting nice and deep and catches that like an absolute freak. That was Ronaldinho.
Catches that like an absolute freak.
What's wrong with that?
No, it's just funny. It's just funny to call a 16-year-old a freak.
He is. He's an absolute whiz kid, and he just... Oh, here we go. Atto almost going to get the double touch there. Stumpy, you just got to go with me, all right? When I'm in the zone, just go with me. And a Chronic's in the zone right now. Smashes it off the roof, and look at Atto flying across looking for bumps. Team Liquid... Well, they're certainly not in the lead, but they're playing like they are right now. The confidence, the demos are coming out from both sides. But we're still dead even.
That goal, that shot could have been a goal. It was just hit back towards the defense that Atto was waiting. There were good demos, there were good chances coming through, and yet the pass was completely ignored. Dorito to intercept that opportunity, however, is going to also be continuing to then get the 50. Strongest 50 in the world, Oski-esque. Chance for Atto to get it past that halfway line with 0 boost, though. It does go above him. Atomic to the ceiling. Dorito again with the great interception. He is reading the play fantastically well.
He is. Again, it's like Johnny Boy in that match earlier. Just sensational play. Back into this one. Atomic's going to take this one off the roof. Maybe an infield Dorito. What's he going to be able to do with it? The double commit from Liquid could be costly, and maybe the dunk as well. They're going to be able to get this one out of defense. Marked by 8, massive whip opens the door up here for an attack for Team Liquid. Maybe the touch central as well, but Atomic, fantastic positioning in net, sends that one away.
There's a good change of pace there by Oski too. This game has been very rip-roaring. It has been send the ball as fast as you can, as hard as you can. Marked by 8 sending that ball to a ghost that he saw in the corner. Nobody managing to receive on that play. But it was also just slowing it down, trying to have this game be at the pace that Liquid want it to be. If that's slow, if that's fast, if it's somewhere in between, they want to maintain that control. Because both these teams, as Cole was saying earlier, they are relatively scrappy. They're happy to get down in the mud and wrestle. But Liquid, they just have a couple more ribbons than G1.
Fantastic potential game at land there. Mud wrestling. We'll see what happens with that. But the shot on net is going to be almost in. I thought that was top corner for all money. Marked by 8. Can't put that one away. G1, well, they should be a goal up already. The first goal from Liquid was ridiculous, and that one should have gone in as well, but it doesn't. We're still at 1-1. Team Liquid getting away with absolute murder here in game number 4.
100 boost stolen away by Dorito. He's going to be staying in the play as well. 15 with Oski and lives to tell the tale. Atomic onto the backboard. Isn't able to get the double as it goes too far away from him. Minute 30 remaining. Incredibly even in this match on Utopia.
Oh, the clear demo! Saved out just in time. That was just G1 again, opening the door with the opportunity. Team Liquid couldn't quite walk through it. Couldn't get the goal. Still stuck all square. This is just... It feels like just it's a game of the midfield control right now. Who's going to get the pressure? Who's getting the bumps? And right now, it looks like maybe G1. Atomic reset bottom corner. G1 go ahead.
Atomic! What a phenomenal play from the sidewall. Gets the reset, and then with the lightest touch of his nose, Atto has to challenge early. Fruit goes everywhere. It's a bonanza. G1 find themselves in the lead. 2-1 in the game, attempting to make it 2-2 in the series.
Loving what I'm seeing so far here from G1. Phenomenal gameplay. Let's see what Team Liquid can do, though. Down the other end, can't quite get the touch. Low boost. Atto's a bit awkward as well, and Dorito with nothing is going to get a beautiful 50. Marked by 8, just launches the ball downfield. 50 seconds on the clock. What can Team Liquid do?
They have to do more than they currently are, despite the fact how even these teams have been in the midfield. G1 get the opportunity convincingly first, but Oski picks up that 100 mid boost, intercepted again by Dorito, who's reading every single play that Liquid seem to want to go for. Chronic now has to try and outwit the final man. Atomic just waits for him. The patience from G1 is wonderful to witness. 25 seconds remain. Dorito dribbling on his own. 45 boost, can't flick over the top of a Chronic. Marked by 8, he's going to find himself in the firing line until Oski makes his way in. The ceiling pass to himself. The second touch can't come from Atto. Final 10, G1 lead.
10 seconds left. What can Liquid do? I can just smell the timeout buff lifting them over the line here. G1 holding on a Chronic. Going to be able to get the touch central. Oski gets blocked out. Opportunity on net. Marked by 8. Huge save. 0 seconds. Throws it on. Marked by 8 with the biggest double of his life. G1 maybe just stealing this one. Ball still up in dispute. Ball still in the air. 0 seconds. Dorito knocks it down. G1 marked by 8. You Superman.
G1, gee whiz, that timeout buff managed to work its magic. Add that to your percentages, D-Ret. Recalculate that bad boy, because G1 have brought us to 2-2 in the series. And a Chronic, he fancies a little bit of that timeout buff himself. Liquid take theirs as they lose their second game.
Wowee, edge of your seat stuff. Instant timeout back, the timeout buff into timeout buff. Well, now we're just getting down a rabbit hole that I don't know if I've been down before, but I've got no advice on how this one's going to work out. Nonetheless, what a game from G1. Looked strong there, looked on song, found a way to defend. Did it at both ends as well, which is important because, well, I've seen G1 score a few own goals in their time this split, but so far, I'm not going to put the curse on them, touch wood, looking strong.
G1, what a turnaround. That fourth game, showing the pressure that they are able to take, showing the opportunities that they let a couple of them go, but for the greater good further on in the series, or further on in that game rather, where they're letting that pressure come in for Liquid, which is a terrifying prospect. When you look at what Oski's been putting up this event especially, he leads in both total goals and goals per game coming into today. And yet G1 are happy to sit back just a bit and then hold on to that defense and then go for those counter-attacks. Get a demo, send it towards the net. I do think, though, G1 have got opportunities just sitting on the table. We saw demos come in, but then we see a really safe shot. No, go for a dribble, go for a pass. Don't just think, oh, demo, shoot. Try and see what the actual situation is, because G1, if they can really capitalize on those opportunities, then Liquid find themselves in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, as I said, it does feel a lot like the midfield game as well. Winning those challenges, grabbing that mid boost has been massive in both sides setting up an attack. And I mean, I know it was close in the end, but you look at the goal that Liquid scored. I mean, it was nearly a pinch own goal from G1 straight into the net. That was pretty unfortunate. Nothing that anyone could do about that one. So that really was a solid comeback game off the timeout from G1. And now we're going to see what Liquid have got in the back pocket as well. What they've got, if they can change it up a little bit, or perhaps just a mental reset this timeout. We'll have to wait and see.
I mean, they're hoping that they get jammed with the super serum that G1 managed to get jammed with previously, because that performance by G1 is something that I feel like we haven't necessarily seen from them a huge amount, where they've had this overperformance potentially. Timeout buff, yes please, 5 seconds again, and look at the double tap for a Chronic, bang, bang, thank you man.
Timeout buff is real. A Chronic has some real mech, ladies and gents. What is that? What is that? Skim off the kickoff. Liquid get the goal straight away. Instant response, and the perfect start to them here in game number 5.
It's in 5 seconds too, exactly like G1 had in that previous match in Utopia. Wasteland is going to be looking like a mirror, and Liquid hoping that with that early goal, they will be able to continue that luck that G1 managed to find themselves on earlier too. Oski tipping it over the top, up for that second touch central, isn't able to get it. Atto to shoot. That board is from Mark by 8, passing again, and now G1 with the offense.
Here we go. Dorito's got an opportunity shot. Oh! Atto can't get the save. He fumbles it in net. Dorito gets the equalizer.
Paint a target on the net, and Doritos found himself a bullseye. That goes dead center, and Atto still isn't quite able to get it. Maybe thought it was going to be a scarier shot, thinking, do I need to free jump top corner, bottom corner? Where do I go? Instead, it's, nah, just hit it middle. Don't worry, mate. We're good.
It's almost like tennis. If you put it at them, it just makes it so awkward. You want to go one way or the other, and yeah, he just couldn't go in. He really did flinch there in net, couldn't get the save. Now we get an instant equaliser. This is exactly the same as last game. We see the 5-second goal, instant equaliser from the other team.
Good clear from Mark. Does not bat an eyelid as Oski comes in to challenge. That whiff coming in that time from a Chronic, who in between these games managed to change his car to Atomic up for the central touch. Bottom corner found. That is perfect. Fruit is flying.
He used every ounce of boost there. Dorito just palms it off to him, and Atomic finds the only place that he could put that ball with the boost that he had. G1 get the lead out of nowhere. Oh, this is just picked up all of a sudden. It felt like a chess match. Now we're just seeing the insane back and forth gameplay.
It started as a chess match, and now we've reached the boxing part of it. We have found ourselves in the ring, seeing who's going to be having that knockout first. Dorito down that left-hand side finds Oski, who to the skies he goes, onto the ceiling. He's done that a couple of times now, but misses that second opportunity. 100 boost picked up by Mark to challenge a Chronic in the center. The ceiling pinch doesn't go towards the goal. Instead, Dorito, the man who's been reading every single play, attempts to fashion one of his own. One flip reset, very little boost, can't get that second touch. If he had 10 more, that could have been the third goal for G1.
Yeah, G1 looking much better in defense though right now. But Chronic does get a bit of space to try and change that. Oski gets the huge 50 that we've seen him do all series long. But now we get the counter-attack. Atto, last man, gets dunked out. Oski is back in time. It's going to go down the other end now. And Team Liquid, they get a moment to breathe. And the G1 don't down the other end. And Chronic can't quite get a top corner. Dorito stuffs up the hit. The demo comes out, but Atomic's last man, the bump. This could be dangerous. Dorito. The bump. Is it? It is.
The physicality from Liquid overwhelming G1 like a tsunami. One demo, one bump, an air dribble attempt in the sky. A Chronic, the equalizer as Liquid rain havoc on Wasteland.
Oh, we love an air dribble bump. I don't know a single person that doesn't love seeing it every time. And how effective is it? It's just beautiful there. Team Liquid, they get the equalizer, the one they wanted, and now it feels like we can reset a little bit, Stumpy.
And the speed yet again has picked up, CJ. Seeing that these teams they were sitting back a little bit more. Oski earlier was slowing it down, seeing where the pace of this series could go. Instead, it's now just smack it, just hit it, see where we go with it. If you want to wrestle in the mud, then we can get down and dirty as well.
I love what we're seeing here. Just both teams throwing caution to the wind, and another opportunity here perhaps for Liquid, but a Chronic's in a very, very awkward spot. Might open the door up for Atto to come through. Double touch could be on. Dorito does make the save.
Under 2 minutes, shots raining in on either side as well. 2 demos, one apiece for either team. Oski hits that ball central with nobody to pick up on it. Dorito finds himself with a very, very open midfield until a Chronic fancies a go on that ball. Can't get over the top of Mark by 8 though, but with low boost, Mark's defense isn't going to be particularly huge. Dorito clearing towards Atomic. Now this right wing is going to be utilized. Chronic goes high. The whiff from Dorito sees Mark by 8 called into action. 90 seconds. Oski to shoot, but a save from Mark.
Oh, they've been enormous in defense. Mark by 8 in particular. We saw what he did at the end of last game, and we're seeing it again here. Score still level though, and Team Liquid are looking a little bit more threatening. Double demo as well. Triple demo. Everyone going. Atto, quick double. Can't get the touch. Follow up from Oski. Free double. What can he do? Fakes it out for a Chronic shot. And it's saved again by guess who?
There's more fakes coming in now in this game than there has been for the entire series so far. We're under a minute, and the own team bump. Atomic, he can shoot. He can go wide. But Chronic's able to save it away from the opposite corner. 50 seconds. Oski to the sky. Sees a Chronic waiting low. Gets that reset. Isn't able to actually use it, unfortunately for him. Dorito now to challenge versus Atto. The overtime, an absolute potential. Dorito, can he shoot? Absolutely he can!
He just had an absolute minute to work with this one. Team Liquid, no one downfield to challenge, and the bump from Mark by 8, forcing Oski into the net for the squishy save. Couldn't get it. Dorito gets the goal. G1 out of nowhere. 2-1 down, 2-2, and now looking down a potential 3-2 lead in this series. 30 on the clock.
30 seconds, and the timeout buff, bear in mind, is what Liquid rely on. They may well go with their timeout broken as we enter the final 20. Chronic with that second touch. It goes long as Atto can get that clear, but boost control now going in favor of Liquid. Atomic waits back with 100. He goes above the bar and he uses it fantastically. The final 10 seconds begins to tick down, and G1, they buy themselves a little bit of space.
Here goes the Chronic, though. Team Liquid has still got a chance here. He's got it around Dorito. Huge challenge. 1 second on the clock. Oski doesn't keep it up. G1 move on to match point, series point, and potentially major point.
If they win this next game, G1 will be going to San Diego. That is what's on the line. That is what they're playing for. German Amigos and Quadrant, their dreams will be done for the winter split. But do G1 do it? Does the pressure now get to them? They don't come to these parts very often.
Oh, this is everything to play for. I'm getting nervous watching this one. G1 just, after the timeout, 2-1 down, they've just looked like a different team. They've looked so much better in defense, and that's creating opportunities down the other end of the floor as well. Sensational play so far. Team Liquid, they're trying everything. We saw the triple fake in offense, trying to make something work, but it is marked by 8 time and time again, Stumpy, in net. He is just lifting this side defensively over the line. He wants to make it to San Diego. He wants to take that last spot. And gee, they're one step away from doing it.
One step for Mark by 8 to have his story not end with BDS. For G1 to continue that tale for him. BDS won't be there. Mark by 8 may well be able to continue that legacy. Opportunity for an early goal here on Neo Tokyo. As we said, series and major point for G1.
Oh, please no early goals here. Let's just get a little bit of let's get both teams feeling each other out here. We've seen a first goal in 5 seconds, 2 games in a row. It hasn't happened here. Oski's going to be able to get this one. Here's a double touch. Goes wide, can't quite get it. And a Chronic with the follow-up. Could be now a counter-attack down the other end, but Team Liquid have just turned back in and they want to keep going.
Good pressure coming through for Liquid early on in this game on Neo Tokyo, however. They need to make sure they're confident coming through. They had their timeout broken, and Atomic, top corner, saved away Oski. Those redirects really started to become his bread and butter through this series. Mark now, defensively incredible, wanting to be offensively potent.
G1 just farming epic saves. Here's a counter-attack. Could be dangerous.
Oh,
the bump, open net. A Chronic gets the goal. Team Liquid take the lead.
You can't dribble it past them. Just 2 foot the final man. Doesn't matter about the red card. You save your team. He gets the shot. A Chronic and Atto. Double A battering their way through the orange net.
Yeah, I think taking a leaf out of Oski's book with that physicality. And I mean, if you can't beat them, if they're making all those epic saves, just remove them from the pitch, and that's what they did there. And here we go again. Atto is on a mission. Double demo again. Team Liquid want another one. They want blood.
It's like a shark in the water, and he smelled a teaspoon of blood 300 kilometers away. And you bet that he is just swimming all the way over. Neo Tokyo, the bloodbath continues from that wasteland experience. But now Dorito, he turns himself back round and removes Atto from the pitch himself.
I love this. Both teams, the instant response from G1 as well. Anything you can do, we can have a crack at as well. The demo's coming out on both sides, but Team Liquid still in control here. Great clear from Atomic. She'll be able to open it up a little bit. Perhaps the follow-up, but the bump again is huge. A Chronic, double touch, no boost. Great save again, parried to the side. And was that our man Mark by 8?
It was, yeah. Mark found himself up there. So early as well, pre-jumping him. The second touch coming from Mark there. Dorito to shoot, but Atto, it finds its way into the net. Just a smidge. Oh, bumps again! Goes for the in-and-out save, and then the counter-attack. Mark, again, the defense, saving the skin of G1, but they need that goal as we approach half-time.
Yeah, the pace has picked up massively. We're seeing G1 double commit. They're just expecting stuff. They're expecting someone to be on every single time here. This is just foot to the floor sort of stuff. Both sides having a crack. Infield pass. Dorito free shot goes wide. Can't quite get it. G1 continue the attack. Infield. Atomic should be open. No, Mark Boy can't get the touch.
Just a smidge too far forward, and Atto, he reckons that he can just keep racking up these demos. He gets 2 more on the back line, completely removes that offense starting to build for G1. And now he goes for one flip reset, can't get over the second, but he 50s it with the third. Atto, the second goal.
Sometimes the best play, Stumpy, is to do nothing at all. The flip reset was all he needed. The second touch didn't come in. Dorito expected something more, a little bit more power. But Atto sneaks it past. Team Liquid take a 2-goal lead. And boy, oh boy, I can just hear that Champions Field announcer, Mr. Shogun, calling, unless this can go in. Atomic gets one back.
How does he touch this so perfectly? Just no movement on that ball. It sticks to his hood like a ball on a seal's nose. And with 2 minutes left, 1 goal brought back for G1.
Oh, it's happening again when you think Team Liquid's in control. G1 find a way. Almost another kickoff opportunity. Chronic's got boost to work with. Over the top, Mark by 8 does parry it out. The bump, though, that's going to be a goal. Oski, the huge bump coming out. Oski, the cleanup crew, but Chronic just going to work down in the offense.
Oh, what a lovely touch, too. Atomic had himself pretty much set on that backboard to clear the ball away. But after that ball is done with, we can see a Chronic try and aim for the man. Does so wonderfully. Under 2 minutes remain, and that 2-goal lead yet again established for Liquid. They want to try and bring this to Game 7. Try and keep German Amigos and Quadrant lives on the line for the major. That 3-way tiebreak if Liquid win, bear in mind.
Yeah, it just feels like that moment of brilliance from G1 completely overshadowed after a play. Here's Oski off the ceiling, doesn't get the touch. It almost seemed too easy for him in the end, but the huge bumps coming out. Mark by 8 has to bail out Atomic there in defense. Team Liquid still pressuring, still pushing. They don't want to give G1 a chance in offense because, well, we've seen what they can do down the other end, and Mark by 8 fires one on net.
Chance for Atomic here to just clear it high towards Mark by 8, who ends up shying away from that ball. He'll be then finding his way in defense, but again shying away, leaves it for Dorito to save it instead. Atomic up with Mark has gone for 3 balls so far, and every single one of them, he's just been called away from it.
He's trying to beat his teammates to every ball, but he's 0 from 3 so far. Atto almost gets it off the ceiling. Oski is on the sideball waiting. 45 seconds left. Team Liquid is set up. They're pushing back into defense. And look at Chronic just killing so much time off the sideball to himself. A double commit is questionable at this time of the game, but Oski doesn't care. Third man comes in. Clean-up crew. Boy, oh boy, we're headed to Champ Field, baby.
You can see the defense here just get completely frustrated, trying to get that ball away as much as they can, and they completely capitulate. 35 seconds remain, 3 goals to bring back up. G1, incredibly unlikely they're able to do it. And let's just bear in mind, this is, and we keep saying it because it's mad in Europe for us to get to a Sunday and for the stakes to still actually matter to see who goes to the major. This is for German Amigos and Quadrant and G1 to be going into that tiebreaker. If we can get that 3-way, it would be one of the highlights that we've got in this entire season so far.
It'd be absolutely insane. And I saw Team Liquid. I'd hate to coach Team Liquid because every single time I just question what they're doing. Why is Atto going for 14 demos in a row? It just works out. And we saw the double commit as well there. Absolutely huge. Team Liquid get the 4-1 win, a huge momentum snowball confidence booster heading into game number 7. Boy, there's everything on the line here. As we said, it feels like G1 right now are versing not only Team Liquid, but also Quadrant and German Amigos in game 7.
So looking at what Team Liquid's journey has been so far through this competition, at the start, they 3-0'd Fufax Dop. Since then, they went to Game 5 versus Vitality and then also Williams Resolve, and then they went to Game 7 versus Quadrant. They won all of them. They are undefeated so far in Game 5s and 7s this regional. That is a very, very scary place for G1 to find themselves.
Yeah, they're pretty good at the game and clearly don't feel pressure at all. So this is scary time, scary situation, but Game 7, Champions Field, Stumpy, I always say it. I love this field, not only because I always lose on Game 7, but also because Game 7, forget about structure, forget about play style. Game 7, it's all about moments. What individuals are going to step up? Who's going to be the person to push forward and take that risk, take that opportunity when they get it? That's why I love it. It feels like everything's reset now. It's one game, best of one. If G1 win, they're in the major. If they lose, well, we've got an exciting three-way tiebreaker to come up after the grand finals.
The flags of legends hang in the rafters, and every single player on this pitch wants to eventually join them. But that journey starts with a single step. Champions Field, Game 7, major on the line, potentially for 3 teams as well.
Here we go, baby. Just if you're sitting down right now, edge a little bit closer in your seat because I feel like something special. Stand up if you want. If you're in your living room, get off the floor right now and give us something because Mark by 8 is going to be able to put that one away. And G1, well, they can smell San Diego.
Right, tell your mum, your dad, your nan and your gran, stand up, guys. This is what Rocket League's all about. That demo on the goal line, opening up entirely for Mark by 8. We get the early goal. That's exactly what this series has been giving us so far. And the benefactors of it are G1.
Here we go. What can Liquid do on the counter-attack? Atto off the ceiling, off kickoff, doesn't quite get the touch. Oski with just the pressure from second man out of nowhere. It's going to be able to help that one out. Mark by 8 does get the save. Bails out his teammate. G1 pushing forward, but they're looking a little bit out of position in defense.
Up in the sky, Dorito finds himself, fakes out Atto, wants to go to that backboard instead in the end, regardless. A long punt away. A couple of demos coming in. That last game we saw Atto have 9 demos, and Oski, he was the one to shoot, and this time Atto is going to be trading his shooting boot with goal-facing prowess. The double touch pass, wonderful for Liquid.
Look at the finesse from Oski, just biding his time, waiting for the challenge, goes underneath, then over the top, pinch off the backboard, easy setup. Atto gets the finish on that one. We've got a tight ball game, and I said it before, I'll say it again. Something special is about to happen here on Champions Field.
Oski to that backboard, finds Mark by 8, who clears it a little bit too far away as Atto can now get that control in that final third for G1. A chronic waiting, sees Oski central. Demos haven't found themselves quite as much until Atto smells that cheesy Dorito in the water. A long shot, that goes from the crossbar, and Atto, a single touch, saves Liquid skin.
Oh, almost in there now. A chronic flip reset over the top. Both of Liquid are just circling right now. Shot on net. Mark can't get the save. Atomic bails him out. Team Liquid is still firing, peppering the net. But nothing going in so far. G1 holding it out. The pre-jump's coming out. Atto now last man down. The other end. The error. That's it. Mark by 8 gets it in. What a crucial error from Team Liquid. Atto. Oh, no.
Everyone on Liquid able to find the opposition players and remove them from the pitch. But as soon as it comes to moments like that, when you just have to smack that ball as hard as you can, Atto fluffs it. G1 taking the lead with 3 minutes remaining.
Terrible, terrible situation there for Team Liquid. G1 find maybe the chance to grasp San Diego with both hands here. Dorito doesn't quite get the touch. Atomic's in net. Gonna have a bit of time now. Grabs the corner boost. He's got Dorito waiting in middle. Opts for the musty. Gets the dunk. Oski's awkward. G1, they're keeping the pressure.
Half of the game remains, and Atto is there to get one touch. Taps it around the side. He was hunting for a man, but instead he found success.
Perfect. Half the game to go, and we're level again. Atto, the bump on Dorito, doing everything himself. He's made up for that mistake down the other end. We're back to all square.
This is such a strange way, I feel, to have Liquid play. They aren't going to out-mechanic G1 at all, really. That's normally what you see. They try and go for those flary plays. Instead, they're just sucker punching them at every opportunity. Again, more bumps, more redirects, trying to find their way through. Nothing fancy, just sheer, raw power from the youngsters.
Yeah, brute force right now for Team Liquid, but Dorito, he gets a chance now. Perhaps a double touch off the sideball. Atto makes a huge save, keeping the scores level. Oski now with a flip reset. This is space if Dorito can turn in time. Looks like he's going to get the beat out as well. Atto wasn't quite ready for that one, but he does get a crucial touch in defense and slows it down. Whether that's a good thing or not, we're about to find out. A chronic buying his time. Liquid looking a little bit shaky in defense. A Chronic downfield.
Oh.
Could get a double touch. Goes wide. Oski there. Nothing really happening so far. He's going to be able to get the corner boost, though. Let's go out. G1, fantastic defense.
Chances as we enter the final 90 seconds. And overtime is a potential. And Atomic on the backboard with 60 boost is high enough over a couple, but a Chronic is going to find his way to it. Oski backboard again, one flip reset. Both these teams now not wanting to make that crucial mistake. We've seen the mistakes that can come out. A Chronic there. I felt like that might have been one, but now a 2v2. Oski to bump. And it ends up being off Mark's roof.
Oh no, I think I've cursed it saying they haven't done an own goal in a while, but Dorito could have saved that. He dodged the bump, but it was marked by 8, who absolutely slotted it into the net. G1. Well, they could see San Diego, but now it's looking so far away. A minute on the clock.
The clouds begin to form. San Diego is still well within reach, however. Mark by 8 trying to pass back across towards Atomic, but Dorito and Atomic bumping each other. A double commit on defense. G1, they look shaky. They look shattered. This has been a terrifying series for them. Everything is on the line, and Liquid are taking advantage.
Oh, they're in shambles right now. Mark by 8. Another double commit, and he's just left the net. He left the net wide open. Atto walks into an open goal, and this Game 7 could not be ending more drastically here.
45 seconds to have G1 wrestle this game back from the jaws of defeat. This kickoff could be crucial as Dorito and Oski face off against each other. It goes the way of Liquid, and Chronic with 100 boost just hunts for that man. Tries to bump Mark by 8, but he's been going to the gym. That manages to not move him too far away. Atto to the ceiling. The mechanics now on the flare starting to show themselves. Dorito on that left-hand side, 50ing with a Chronic. Atto's there to receive it as well, and Mark just wanted anything on that ball to keep it scary. A whiff coming out from both players in the sky. Mark rotating via that mid-boost, and it's stolen away by Atomic. It's just starting to fall apart for G1.
Yeah, 15 seconds on the clock. It's do or die. Mark has to score right now. Double touch, but he goes high and can't get a follow-up. 10 seconds left. Ladies and gentlemen, if you thought it was G1's day, well, it still might be, but they're going to be coming back in a few hours' time. We're going to be heading to a 3-way head-to-head tiebreaker for San Diego. Team Liquid move on to the grand finals. They're looking at number 2 seed. But G1, they're not even there yet.
CJ, do you hear that? Do you hear that in the distance? The thousands of Quadrant and German Amigos fans cheering that their teams are still in this competition. They can still go to the major. And bear in mind, guys, you're not going to have to wait till midweek. Oh, you're not going to have to wait till midweek. Imagine waiting till midweek for those matches. No. They will be coming up after today's broadcast.
Brutal.
You just bought yourselves 2 more series of Rocket League. It is going to be a bumper day on Championship Sunday.
Oh, absolutely brutal. And for them to lose in that way, I know they're still alive. I know they've still got the tiebreakers ahead of them, but now they've got to win 2 series. They've got to beat German Amigos and then Quadrant as well. I mean, everything on the line, but now they have to reset. But for Team Liquid, they're moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We've got another beautiful semi-final coming right up.